Hi everyone, I am Brittany the Cosmic Lunar Soul and welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome back to all my subscribers. Today I have an unboxing of the limited edition of the Citadel Oracle deck. So it came in this gorgeous box, and look, here's the side. I'm just covering up my postage here so you guys can't see that. And this is from Liminal 11. So I'll make sure to have all of the links in the description and a little blurb about the deck. But let me just go ahead and open this. I'm so excited. It came just in time for my birthday, so I'm excited to share this with you guys. All right, let's get it open. All right, here it is. Look at this gorgeous setup here. I think all of this kind of like folds out so you can kind of get into it. So let me just pull out the actual box and get the plastic off, and then let's talk about it. All right, here is this box, and look at it. It's so cool. It looks like a book. So this is the Citadel Oracle deck. This is the extended edition or limited edition by Fez Inkwright. And then here is the back here. It says, between two white chalk cliffs lies a turquoise bay, and at the edge of that bay stands a city. And then down here it talks about the Citadel is an archetypal oracle deck that is steeped in the magic of the infinite worlds of fantasy, literature, and tabletop gaming. So that's kind of what sold me on, well, part of it you'll see when we get into the cards what sold me on this deck, but the connection between the tabletop gaming and oracle is also what sold me. So let's go ahead and open up this box and look at this fold out. Look at this. This is so cool. I can barely get it into the frame. So we have the map of the Citadel, and then it gives you the different locations, and then over here we have the card, the limited edition card for this deck. This is deck number 944 out of 2000. So if you're wanting to get this, there are only 2000 that will be created. And then here is a eye coin. The eye coin is really cool. It's smaller than my normal yes no coin, which is this. You can see the size difference, and it's thicker, which you can see. But one side has an open eye, and then the other side has the closed eye. And it is a really good weight, and I the size kind of reminds me of a tabletop coin, so it makes a lot more sense for it to be a little smaller. And let's sit that there. Here is the booklet that goes with it, and then the two decks are here. This is like a black plasticky velveteen that just fits both decks very perfectly. So we'll get into all of that going forward. So here, this is where it kind of gets into I guess a little bit of everything: an introduction, creating the characters. This is about the tabletop game aspect of it. I believe this is kind of like I think you can do this more than once, but the goal of it is for it to be one and done. Opening it up, you see the same map that is on the inside of the box. And then we have our table of contents. So we go in through all of the introductory stuff with how the campaign works, creating your PCs, creating NPCs, and then expanding the game. So since it has that expanding the game part, that's where I feel like you can start to throw some extra stuff in to redo it in different ways. And then you have the Spy Master's Gambit. That's the story. You have the backstory, the campaign outline, and then you have the different locations in the Citadel. And then we have the appendices, and then game building. Alrighty, so Luna wanted to join us, so sorry in advance if everything is a little out of whack. So here you can see all of the interesting stuff about creating and getting started, all the introductory stuff, and then I'll just read a little bit about the backstory. So it says, sitting at the center of all conspiracies and secretly pulling the strings behind the throne is the Spy Master. Many years ago, the Spy Master rose through the ranks to be royally appointed, tasked with protecting the realm from treasonous plots and espionage. The Spy Master's power keeps growing, but the more secrets she keeps, the less she trusts anyone around her. The only solution to her growing paranoia is, the Spy Master concludes, to gain yet more power so that no one can bring harm to the kingdom or to her. Yes, Luna, I like that story too. So I've actually never done like this style of tabletop gaming. I usually do more like I guess what I mean is I haven't done RPG style, like the Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing where you have a campaign and a dungeon master and all of that. So I'd have to read through this and get a handle on it. But one of my goals for this year was to get back into tabletop gaming in general. So I'm really excited about this. So it's going through the different areas in the Citadel, and yeah, it just goes through the different gameplays, and it has like information about the locations, and then it throws in game notes here, which I just from general understanding that is really helpful for gaming. So it's really small, seems easy to digest, a quick read through for understanding. And I think it has, like, I mean, story-wise, it has the makings of a great game, in my opinion. So let me go in to the box. I'm going to pull these decks out and move this off to the side so we have some more room. Okay, so we have the two decks here. This is the actual Citadel Oracle deck, and then this is an add-on that you can add to the Citadel, or you can just use it as its own thing, the deck of emblems, both by Fez Inkwright. But look at these boxes, guys. They're set up so uniquely. So you kind of have the standard stuff at the bottom instead of at the top. This deck retails for £28.99 in the UK, or England rather, $29.99 in the US, and $38.99 in Canada. And again, this is by Liminal 11. This is published by Liminal 11 rather. It has foiling. The letters and the swords, let's see if I can capture that, there we go, are foiled on the sides. The front has like leaf foiling and spotting all throughout. You can see, there we go, see that all the way throughout the front of the deck. And then the other sides have some foiling as well as the top, and as well as the back, just the title on the back. The box opens so uniquely. So instead, it almost looks like a tuck box, like a regular tuck box that you pull the lid off, but instead it has a magnetic closure on the bottom, and you can see these pull tabs. Just pulls out an inner box. It's like a box upon boxes. It's like boxception. And then in this little inner box is where the cards are. So the cards are protected by this little shaped doodad here because the cards are not square. So let's go ahead, pull them out. And then there is one on the inside too. You can see that, another one of these on the inside. This box is crazy sturdy. Look at that, no give at all. The outer box, same thing, nice and sturdy. You can hear that solid heavy cardboard that's going on there. So the cards are octagonal, you can see that, and we'll kind of get into the cards soon, so I'm going to set them off to the side. And then we have the guidebook. This guidebook is a chunky monkey, but I love it. It's fully colored and illustrated throughout. We have another map of the Citadel, and then we have, of course, what I love, the table of contents. So we have a quick reading guide, a foreword, a word from the author, journey through the Citadel, how the Citadel works, and then it gets into the card meanings. So this is broken up into 4 sections: the court, the academy, the crowd, and the troop. And then it goes into gaming with the Citadel, spreads, and then complementing the tarot. So the quick reading guide is basically like a quick cheat sheet for the keywords of the cards. And I actually really like how they put that right straightforward, so no matter how you're using the cards, you can just pop through the front of the book and you don't need to rifle through the entire book. So you can see lovely like illustrations throughout this, and here we get to the your journey through the Citadel. This section is really about explaining the story behind the cards and how it correlates between the worlds of fantasy, literature, tabletop gaming, and so forth. And then goes into how you can use this with tarot. Not exclusively how you can use this with tarot, but just kind of hints that you can. And then goes into how the Citadel works. So it basically breaks down each card. So it says, in the Citadel, each card represents an archetypal character who resides in the city, such as the champion or the poet, with a short description of what this archetype encapsulates and what message they can impart on you. So they say, think of it similarly to the court cards, like the kings, queens, knights, and pages in tarot. They basically describe people. Also, like tarot, the Citadel is segmented into suits. Each suit represents a part of the Citadel society, classes that populate different areas and levels of the city. So that way you can kind of visualize how the Citadel is built. So the cards that fall in the court suit are, they represent achievement and contemplation, yet also unbreakable bonds and a sense of ultimate responsibility. The court is at the center of the Citadel. So encircling the court is the academy, representing those who flourish in acts of study and ingenuity. These cards represent learning, aspirations, and development. The largest circle and the outermost districts of the city houses the crowd, where people who know the value of a day's labor and the importance of family, either found or given. Cards in this suit represent hard work and necessity, as well as fulfillment and community. The final suit, which moves between all parts of the city, is the troop. These cards are visitors to the Citadel, the artists and the creatives, folks who know how to make their true desires in order to fit in with those around them. These are the cards of self-exploration and freedom, but also of doubt, inner turmoil, and personal identity. Ooh, I love that. So then it ends with, the Citadel is greater than the sum of its parts. The city and you can also flourish by acknowledging and balancing the strengths and weaknesses represented by each court. So here we get into the card meanings. This is because this guidebook is also associated with a game. I feel like the main book that I showed you earlier that goes through strictly gameplay, it might warrant actually reading through this in a little more depth than you normally would a guidebook, whereas like normally a guidebook is just for reference. Like you pull a card, you open it up, you go to the card, and that's it, right? But because this is divided into different suits, and each suit kind of has its own theme and like elemental correspondence similar to tarot, I think that there is value in kind of learning this more in depth if you want. It depends how in depth you want this to be and how you want to correlate this with the tarot. So this is the court suit. This is the achievement and responsibility. This is the main page for the suit, and then we get into the suit card, the cards associated with that suit. So this one is the element of fire, and those that rule in this court are wild and energetic. It is the hunger needed to reach for your goals. This is very much giving knight energy, if you're familiar with knights in tarot. And then we go into the cards. So this deck is actually meant to be used upright and reversed. Of course, you don't have to do that, but the keywords are on the card. So there are no keywords here, even though technically the photo of the card has it on it. And then, so what that means is in reverse, there's no keywords for the reverse. There's just kind of the flowery explanation. But again, if you go back to the front, it also does not have reverse keywords. It just kind of has the keywords that are on the card. So just keep that in mind. And again, I think once you start to use these more regularly, you probably will get used to that. But for the overall, it gives you about 2 paragraphs. Yeah, 2 paragraphs between them. And then it has 1 paragraph for the reverse. And then on the left side, you have the photo of the card. And what that means is each card is given a 2-page spread in this book. So let me skip forward. We're gonna go find the spreads and see what kind of spreads are in here. So before we get to the spreads, we have Gaming with the Citadel, and it just mentions that this is inspired, of course, by Dungeons and Dragons. And then there are some mini games in here that I think can really help you understand the Oracle better if you're into that kind of thing, or just give you a little more depth when you actually play the full game. It goes into, let me go back. It goes into building a location, and that's based off of the suits. So the court location, which is fire, the academy location, which is air, the crowd location, which is earth, and the troop location, which is water. And then here we go into the court, the academy, and just like those breakdowns. So you're like diving deeper into each section as you go into that. And then you go into building an encounter based off of the location. Card 2 is the NPC, card 3 is the outcome. So think of it as like a 3-card spread where card 1 is the location, card 2 is the NPC, and card 3 is the outcome. And then it goes into more depth in that. And that can help you actually build characters for the game if that is something that, if you struggle with character building. And then you can even combine the concept of divination with the game where you do some in-game fortune telling. This has so much going on for it, and I'm really excited. So here are these spreads. We have the court. This is based off of the fire energy in the court location. And this is situation, obstacle, advice. Where am I now? What do I aspire to? And then potential obstacles. These seem to all be 3-card spreads, but they have like a lot of common ones. Like here we have past, present, future, opportunity, where to focus, outcome. So they do throw in some common ones, but if you like to do 3-card spreads and you'd like a book that has a lot of different options, this one is really good for that. So then we have the Citadel spread, and basically what that is combining the previous suit spreads into them. You don't have to really do that, but it's an interesting concept. The sword and the shield. Oh, okay. So this is the sword, these 4 cards, or 5 cards here rather. And then this is the shield here. Oh, I like that. So you can do just the sword. The sword is the thrusting presence of another relationship in our life, be it romantic, familial, a friend, or a presence at work. And this spread can help you assess your connection with that relationship and bring it into better harmony. The shield is the defense that we place in front of us. So this is usually what's crossing us sometimes, or what's blocking our way. So opening up to a new connection can make you feel vulnerable, but the rewards you may reap from it are worth every moment of weakness. Use the spread to assess your own feelings right now in this moment as you address your social ties. Okay, complementing the tarot. So basically, they say that you can use this in place of classic tarot spreads, or if there is a prompt, like one of the prompts in a tarot spread is confusing, you can pull an oracle card for that to kind of give you some overall insight. So then you can use it as like a gateway where you pull one card before pulling your tarot cards, and that's kind of like your overall theme or overall focus that is going on in regarding your question. And then we have one card draw that's called the Castle that you do at the end of the tarot reading, and it provides a little more clarification on anything difficult that was raised during your tarot reading. I actually never thought to do that, so it's really cool process, really cool idea. All right, here are the cards. I'm gonna get the sleeve off, zoom in a little so we can do our flip through, and then we will get into the last deck. All right, so you saw the flip through. Here are the backs of the cards. There's no foiling on the back. It is a smooth matte. It's very matte. You can see that it only has like a light. It's only catching that light a little bit there, yeah. But again, you can see all of the elements or the suits represented here. And if you do intend to utilize reversals in this deck, you can see that it is, the backs are fully reversible here. So the cards actually do have the suits on the front. So let me go through, I'll just kind of pick 2 cards here to show you. These are easy, some are easier to see than others, but you can see those suits there. So this one, you see that little line going through that cuts that triangle. So it might not be noticeable at first, but as you get used to the cards, you'll start to see more of that. Let me see if I can find one where it's not quite so obvious. Some of them blend into the art a little bit. Like this one kind of blends into the art. You see it when it catches the light there, but just know that that's how that's kind of set up. So I've actually never shuffled octagonal cards before. Let's see how this goes. So not bad. I will say, like, if you're not used to the shape, there is a tendency to them wanting to rotate kind of like that when you grab them, if you don't grab it at the very extreme edges. So just keep that in mind. But it is a nice smooth shuffle. Let's see if we can riffle shuffle these babies. Okay, yes and no. So they riffle shuffle, it's just you got to be a little careful with the bridge part. So you can riffle fairly well. Let's do the riffle without the bridge. There we go. They do have a tendency to want to bend. They kind of already have a bend, and I only did it twice. So these are definitely going to be cards that are going to be very bendable. And so if that's the case, what I recommend is, if you want reversals in these, maybe turn half the deck. So, you know, cut the deck, turn it in half, and then shuffle them in overhand if that's how you want to do it. The edges are coated. They're like a matte red here. You can see that's lovely. And then the artwork is all red, like, I guess I'll call this a rose gold. So red, rose gold, which is foiled, and then black. And then white, I guess, as well. Everything on a white background. So all of that artwork and imagery and stuff like that follows through to the booklet as well. So you kind of always get an idea, and as you're reading the book and trying to understand the cards, you have the actual artwork to look back on. So like I mentioned, the cardstock's a little on the thinner side, but not bad thin. Usually I would say the cardstock this thin wouldn't hold a bend to it, but it seems to want to. So I think this is going to require a little handling before I make my final judgment on that. It could be due to the shape of the cards. It could be due to the coating on the cards. I'm not quite sure yet. So to be determined, I suppose. All right, let's put these away and then get into this deck here. All right, here is the deck of emblems. This is an additional deck to go along with the Citadel deck. This only comes with the limited edition version, which I have. So if you remember that coin, you see this coin here, it's open and then closed. I just think that is so totally cool. And same on the bottom, we have an open eye. Oh, we don't have it on the top, but we do have it on the sides, closed and open. So I love the motifs that are flowing through. This box is set up the same exact way. We have this magnetic tab at the bottom, and then if we pull out everything, same exact idea. We have the cards, the guidebook, and these little doodads here to keep the weird shaped octagonal cards from knocking around. So I'm going to go ahead and put these off to the side. Here we have the instructional booklet for this deck, and again we have our closed eye and the open eye. So I forgot to mention in the previous flip through that this is a 60 card deck, and this is a 30 card deck, so combine them to create a 40 card deck. If you do combine them, just note that the edges are different on this. So let's get into this little guidebook here. It's so tiny and cute. So again, we have it fully illustrated throughout. We have the card index, introduction, how to read this deck, the emblems, and some more spreads. So if you get both decks, you do get some extra spreads in this book. The cards are indexed here, the table of contents, I guess, for the cards. So this deck is basically an add-on to the Citadel. And the cards in here are referred to as emblems that can be found around the Citadel, basically. So think of these as things that you can find in this Citadel, or in the town of the Citadel. And then each emblem is steeped in its own story and meaning, but how they serve to shed light on your question is up to you. This deck can be used as a standalone oracle or as a clarifier deck for readings with your other decks, whether it be the Citadel or with the tarot deck. So what's interesting about this is that this deck is actually has similarities with Lenormand. Basically what that means is, unlike the Citadel and unlike tarot, which kind of has a specific meaning, these cards have sort of broad, open-ended meanings that can apply to a few different things based off of your question. It goes on to talk about reading the emblems independently. Basically, the main focus of this is how to take a broader approach to reading these cards. So if you're not familiar with Lenormand, which I'm only like surface level understanding, it might be a little difficult to transition out of that tarot mindset, which is much more rigid in that sense. The booklet is kind of set up like my Lenormand book, like the only Lenormand deck I have right now, where the symbols at the top, you have the name, you have some keywords here, and then you have the main sort of like spiel about it. The first paragraph is the main little like blurb about the card. And then the bottom is talking about how it can relate to other cards. So if you're using this card in a spread, how it might be influenced or influence other cards. I do see some familiar things that I recall from Lenormand, but they're all set up in that same way. Here we have this center spread. In the spread, the deck of emblems acts as both a reading and a clarifier. Lay a standard 3-card spread. It is up to you what questions you ask of this spread in the shape of a triangle. The 4th card, the clarifier, is placed in the center. So we have our triangle here, and then this card in the center. So the clarifier is meant to be the heart of whatever it is your 3-card spread is about. Here we have the compass spread. This is basically north, south, east, and west, and then this is the center. I guess technically it's north, east, south, west, and center. But basically, like, north is where am I going, or what is my destination. East is what will aid me in moving forward, and so forth. And of course the center is the heart of the reading. And then we have a destination spread. Ooh, I like that. So this is basically the concept. This is like trying to determine where you're going, but here you're already there, but it's like, now what? So it's the next step to the compass spread, and that is it. Very short little booklet here. Let me zoom in, get this plastic off the cards, and let's do a quick flip through of the deck of envelopes. Alright, that was the flip through. Here are the backs of the cards. Again, we do have a fully reversible back, so you can see that the image is mirrored if you would like to do that. This guidebook does not give reversals, and Lenormand is traditionally not used that way either. But yeah, just keep in mind that if you do want to do that for yourself, that is totally fine. Let's see how shuffling goes with this. It's the same exact card stock. There are fewer cards, so it's actually easier because you can use a nice lightweight grip and just kind of let things fall out as they're going to fall out. And then let's see what our riffle shuffle looks like. I probably will not be riffle shuffling this deck. Again, we'll kind of revisit. If I do it lightly, it has a nice little snap there. Yeah, I probably will. I'll definitely not be bridging this. I may or may not be riffling this, but it has. I love that. It has a great sound to it. The cardstock, like I said, is the exact same, so it has that light matte that you can barely see that light there. See it? So that will be perfect for me as a streamer. And I do like this. This actually inspires me to kind of get back into wanting to learn Lenormand, and eventually, like the Citadel, the whole story of the Citadel makes me really excited to find someone to do a little bit of gaming with. I've never done it, so I kind of need someone who has, but I still don't think I'll go full like Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I still have my limits. Alright everyone, this was the flip through. This was so nice. What a great birthday gift to myself. I'm so excited to look into this and kind of dive a little deeper. And if you want to see me use this, comment below. Let me know if you want to see this on my next live stream. Yeah, if you enjoyed this deck, let me know which one you liked. Did you like one over the other? I know they're kind of different, but you know, just let me know. I'm curious. What do you guys think of the box? What do you think of the whole set? And comment below and let me know. Alrighty guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos, and I will catch you next time. Bye guys.